Buckle up and get ready for a fun ride.
It's about to go down.
With over 20,000 episodes of the best outdoor shows.
That's the cool thing. It's got something for everybody.
We're the home of the adventurous, the champions,
These guys are the best of the best.
the legends.
There are bigger things happening out here than just shooting bullets at animals.
Get 3 months of MyOutdoorTV for only $1 a month when you use promo code YouTube1.
On my first trip to Kodiak, I couldn't help but imagine how the first mountain men felt when they headed west, ready to take on a wild and untamed land. I felt a similar feeling then, and I feel it again now. Even though this will be my second trip to Kodiak, this is just one of those places you can never feel fully prepared for. The mystique, uncertainty, and adventure that go along with a hunt like this really do make it the stuff dreams are made of. 3 years ago, I stood on this very same dock with knots in my stomach. Everything about that trip was a first for me. My first time on Kodiak, my first float plane trip, my first time setting up camp in brown bear country, seeing my first Sitka blacktail buck, and then holding those antlers. Hunting this island has been a dream of mine since I was a boy. That first trip checked every box off the list, and as soon as we loaded into that float plane to leave, I knew I had to return. This time we're staying on a boat with the ability to hunt different areas every day if need be. My buddies and I booked this trip over 2 years ago. We've been planning and preparing ever since. Still, everything about this hunt feels different, but the one thing that is the same is that knot in my stomach. With years to plan for this moment, you'd think my confidence would be sky high, but I know just enough about hunting in Alaska to realize that much is out of my control. You just have to be willing to do whatever it takes and enough wisdom to not be foolish. Well, we just got to shore here on day one. It's kind of a bonus day. Typically, you know, when you're flying in, sometimes you don't get here until later in the day, but we got here early, so we got a few hours before dark. So this is totally different than when we hunted at Kodiak 3 or 4 years ago. We're on a boat this time, not camping. Super excited to be here. I mean, it was just an incredible day. I mean, for mid-November in Alaska, to have a day like this is just a godsend. So we're gonna try to take advantage of it back in Alaska. This part of the island is so different than where we were before, even though it's not probably more than 20 air miles from here. Where before we had tundra going up to good mountains, not just as big as these, but more grassier, simpler slopes, more gravelly, whereas this has got a lot more brush. All this country's way brushier. It's definitely going to be more of an optics hunt than the hunt before, because the hunt before, deer were pretty easy to see. They were either standing out or they weren't. But here, I mean, there could be deer. There could be 20 deer right here close to us, and you got to find them. The other thing that's going to be totally different with this brush is it's going to slow things up a bunch. I mean, we only came maybe 300 yards from shore, and it probably took us a good 20 minutes, and we broke a sweat doing it. Whereas where we were before, zoom 3 miles, you could do that in an hour, hour and a half. Here, 3 miles could take you half a day. Of course, the other thing that's cool about the boat is if we don't like, if we're not finding deer in one spot, we just move to another spot. So we're going to be able to hunt different places every day if we choose to, or we can stay in one spot for a while if we're finding deer. I mean, this week, they should really start to rut, so we're going to be able to try calling, rattling, grunting, lots of different things to get deer to move for us and help us find them a little bit better. And then from what the guys tell me, that, man, if you hit a buck right, he'll just come charging in. You better be ready, because he'll just come flying in. It's kind of fun to do it different, It's not go back to the same place and do the same thing over again when you've got, a million square miles to work with. So I'm looking forward to the change, the difference. Say that now. Day 5, I might be screaming, but right now, I'm looking forward to the change.
We hope you enjoyed this free preview from MyOutdoorTV. To continue watching, start your free trial now. Then get your first 3 months for $1 a month when you use promo code YouTube1.